The Chase Athletic Center is sold out. And here we go. Bryant wins the tip in the home white. Maine in the road navy.
Man, it'll be interesting early to see who settles down early. This is an early tip that you're not used to playing.
Well, to your point, Bryant played a 9 p.m. game the other night. Now, this is a Maine team that returned just 2 starters from a year ago. Didn't go crazy in the transfer portal, though, RC. A lot of player development in the offseason has led to one of their best years in recent memory. Burns one of those, but he coughed it up. And it's Evans leading the break. Timberlake. No, and the tap back will not count by Evans. Officiating crew all over that. Vasily Malios, Adam Vandenberg, and Mike Evans, our crew this morning.
Great call by the officials there. Ball just hanging around, and Evans on the offensive glass. I think it's another critical element of this game. Who controls the glass?
Well, that is an area that Bryant has dominated this year. One of the best rebounding teams in the nation. And you look at their starting 5, the size is what jumps out.
This is one of the tallest basketball teams in the country. Smallest starter is 6'6", and that's the point guard, and he's 6'6", 220 pounds, and player of the year.
Mitchell doubled. Player of the year trying to get there. Timberlake cannot, and it's going the other way.
Both teams are trying to establish the paint. Thrown inside the post, guys, and defense is holding up so far.
These teams met twice in the regular season, both wins coming for the Bulldogs. First one was a blowout. The second one was just a week and a half ago. And Maine had it to 4 with 33 seconds to play.
Some late turnovers costly in that game. They've had their chances.
Steal, bumped, and another turnover.
Officials are letting them play inside. A lot of contact. As you can see, the nerves. That's why I said early start. Everyone knows what's at stake. The atmosphere is great. All year long, when you're in AmericaEast, your season depends upon this game. So nerves and excitement, the jitters. Who settles down here early?
Maine has never been to the big dance. Bryant has been just once since turning D1 before the 08-09 season. And here comes Barry Evans. The St. Bonaventure transfer. Blocked at the rim, but they're going to count the bucket on the rejection by Keelan Steele. Finally, some scoring. 2 minutes in.
Another opportunity. Bryant there gets to the glass. No doubt about that. Still a little late, but you applaud the effort.
Well, Evans, one of 3 all-conference players in the starting 5. The other is the player of the year, who is now on the board in this game.
Earl Timberlake reminded you, I am on the all-defensive player, elite player in the league. So he's on the all-defensive team, and I'm not just an offensive player of the year. I impact this game on both ends of the floor.
Spinning into the lane, off the mark, steal the putback. That will be key. Can Jaden Clayton, the 3-year starter at point guard for Maine, operate in the lane today against the size of Bryant?
You like the aggressiveness, though. Getting to the rim. Great job by Steele. He's going to be in that dunker spot. Can he clean up some of those misses when they rotate over the block shots?
Last touch by A.J. Lopez, who has not taken a shot in this game for Maine. Their leading scorer and a second-team all-conference selection in his own right.
He had 24 points in the last game here, which is the last time Maine has lost a game. And he's going to have to get really aggressive because Bryant switches on contact. Won't be many weak side opportunities. He's going to have to get aggressive to create a shot.
Pinzone, good. The number 3 scorer in league play in the conference. Missed their last game with food poisoning. He is a big presence offensively for the Bryant Bulldogs.
And he went through warm-ups and everything. I mean, the shoot around today, Wednesday, couldn't go. Bryant didn't miss a beat, so he's picking up where he left off.
There is A.J. Lopez. No, check that. Keon Burns with the bucket. And Pinzone coughed it up. Burns up ahead. Kellen Tynes cannot finish. Withers in transition. Offensive rebound, Mitchell. And now Taylor. Up ahead, Lopez lays it home for his first two.
If there's one knock on Bryant, they send so many guys to the offensive glass to rebound. If you can rebound, there are transition opportunities. You can beat them down the floor, and you need to be opportunistic and take advantage of those opportunities like Maine did in that possession. But you got to rebound to do that.
AmericaEast newcomer of the year, no, and Mitchell with the putback. First-year starter coming off his 6th double-double of the season, and the semifinal win over UAlbany.
They're coming baseline side. Bryant post up, perimeter guys in front. Like if anybody match up, they feel like they can identify. Maine is coming on baseline side to help. No one rotated that time from weak side for the rebound.
Lopez off the bounce, stopped, popped, and put it down.
Lopez is really aggressive. He is a scorer. He knows they're going to pick their matchup. He has to be really aggressive. Because we talked about who's going to control the glass. Shot goes up. Mitchell says, no one box me out. Hello, I'll take this easy too. Top ball game here for Champ Week. What a game so far.
Who recorded over my game footage?
Coach, I've got it saved in the cloud.
Innovation changes everything.
The cloud?
One ETF, 100 innovators rethinking the world. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
It's time to play! Turn it up a notch!
Wow! Everything you could ever want in spring football.
UFL Kickoff Weekend, March 30th on ESPN.
Choose joy. Choose your calling. Choose to really care. Choose to go for it. Just choose. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move.
I wake up.
Both teams early in this game have scored 3/4 of their points in the paint. That is a place that Bryant has lived this year, RC. One of the highest scoring teams, not just in the conference, but in the country. They do it a lot in the paint.
They do here. As you see, shot goes up. They're crashing. They're going to have 3 guys in. 4 guys coming and crashing. But look at where Earl Timberlake is. That sideline pass to get him going in transition. He comes at you with a head of steam. We've already seen that happen one time here today. And just keeping him out of the paint, just nearly impossible. He's looking weak side. You got to identify the weak side personnel. If it's not Withers and it's not Pinzone, they're cutting. So you got to be making sure your head's on a swivel when you're defending the weak side. You got to make sure your rotation help is strong, but you got to identify whether it's Withers and it's Pinzone who are shooters and everyone else is cutting.
56 of their points in the semifinal came in the paint against UAlbany. And they are a top 25 offensive rebounding team in the country, averaging over 13 per game. Bryant going to the bench early. Ja'Kai Robinson checks in, as does Kayvon Kramer. Kramer trying to tap it back. Second effort, counted in the foul.
The positional size of Bryant is just so difficult to deal with. And we talked about it. When Pinzone or Withers are shooting threes, you got to get up. And when that shot goes up, this is where this game will be decided. Guards, you got to stick your nose on there and rebound. We talked about Tynes having 9 rebounds, averaging 9 in the playoffs. He had 13 in their last game. And those guards have to dig in there, put a body on a body, and get a rebound.
Kramer brings such an incredible energy to this team. In the words of his head coach, Phil Martelli Jr., has had an excellent playoff so far. Keon Burns, another one of those guys, second-year transfer RC, that player development has been the key for him.
And his game is a mid-range game. He loves to get to his spots, and he's a really good cutter, as he did there, cutting from the weak side, flashing.
Having the best season of his career as a senior. Withers, great feed inside to Kramer. He has back-to-back for Bryant.
Great backdoor cut there by Kramer. Identified the switch. When Withers comes off the screen, you're switching up. He identified that, cut immediately. Got the backdoor, he got the layup.
Burns, walled off by Withers. Clayton with 10 to shoot. Double, picked. It's Kramer. And he curls up on it for a jump ball. And the possession arrow stays with the Black Bears. And Kramer has been active in his first few minutes.
You can see Maine trying to attack Withers off the bounce. They love to dribble penetrate. Kramer does a great job coming in, helping his teammate out, getting on the ground. Two-man break.
Oh, how about that?
6th man of the year, and there was some miscommunication there. Great job. When his team is switching in a building like this, it's so loud. You often tell your guys to talk, touch, and take, but if you just verbalize it in the building right now, you can't hear yourself think.
Another offensive rebound. It's Robinson right back up with it for 2.
It's another guard. Kai Robinson coming in. It's not the front line that's hurting you on the offensive glass. It's the backcourt. It's the guards. You got to stick your nose in there and come up with loose balls and rebounds.
Already 6 offensive rebounds in the first half for Bryant. Lopez picked. Pinzone running the break. Oh, there's Kellen Tynes, the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, winning it back. And Lopez takes advantage.
Massive play there. Opportunity for Bryant. Has numbers in transition. Kellen Tynes with those quick hands. Second in all of Division I basketball in steals. You don't want to dribble to unnecessarily pass around that guy.
Withers scoops. Robinson sent back. Here comes Tynes, who is still scoreless in this game, but is making an impact in other ways, as he always does.
Officials will let guys play. This is a very physical game inside the paint.
3-point shot for Maine will be interesting to watch in this game. Led the league this year, shooting 39% against a Bryant team that defended it better than anybody during conference play. Withers feeds. Pinzone rejected by Gribben. But 2 shots coming for the St. John's transfer.
Great defense there by Tynes, just doing what he does, impacting the game. 4-point swing there. A.J. Lopez knocks down the midi. Got a close one here.
If you're visiting family, why don't you fly better? $16 flights a day from the U.S. to wherever they may be.
Okay, ladies, eyes on the tape.
Happy little tree that lives.
Who recorded over my game footage?
And he's a strong little tree. And he's got.
I just love his voice.
Great, it's lost forever now, Dawn! Coach, relax. I've got it saved in the cloud.
Innovation changes everything.
The cloud?
With one investment, you can access the NASDAQ 100 innovators who are rethinking the world.
Really, Dawn?
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Well, Maine's athletic teams are going to love all the additions and the upgrades coming soon. This will be the new basketball arena, Morse Arena, on the campus of Maine. Groundbreaking in the summer for the flagship basketball program in the state of Maine, trying to reach their first ever NCAA tournament in just their first AmericaEast championship game appearance since 2004. And that man right there last played in it for Maine. Chris Markwood, the head coach, returning to his alma mater 3 years ago, and has led one of the best turnarounds that nobody talks about.
Right.
In the 2 years prior to his arrival, they won in 8 combined games. They have a 20-win season for the first time in 2 decades.
He's done a phenomenal job, and he's doing a great job of controlling his emotions and just focusing on the game. This means so much to him in so many ways. As his coach of this program, but also for his kids, and he knows what this means to this community.
Told us he was having some difficulty deciding how to balance the emotion of coaching in this game for a state that he grew up in, for a program that he played for, and just being a coach.
It's hard to do. I mean, this is so much at stake. He knows that. He knows what a win like this would do for this program that he's so proud of, and what this win would do for his staff, for his kids, for the community. He hasn't had a chance to take all that in. He's 31 minutes away from possibly doing something incredible.
Logan Carey, just checking into the game, draws a foul on Bryant, who hadn't had any fouls over the first 8 minutes of the game. They pick up 2 quick ones in the last minute, and that will send Logan Carey to the line. First foul on Pinzone.
But they're intentional about skipping that ball to the corner and driving closeouts. Get the Bryant defense in rotation.
Well, tonight at 6 Eastern, Champ Week continues on ESPN with the Phillips 66 Big 12 championship game between Houston and Arizona. Then it's Duke and Louisville for the ACC championship game. Boy, Duke got a scare last night, didn't they, from the Tar Heels? Robinson stripped by Tynes. And last touch by Bryant. It'll give it back to the Black Bears.
Tynes is taking away 4 points. That's an easy layup there by Ja'Kai Robinson. And we showed earlier the steal in transition. He's just so active with his hands.
And steals are just half of it. Think about all the deflections that go untracked statistically over the course of the game for Tynes.
And also what he does from a schematic standpoint.
Lopez trying to put Bryant on a poster, rejected. And now the Bulldogs out and running. Evans draws a foul against Novak Perovic, who has been dealing with back issues for an extended period of time. Glad to have him back in the lineup today. He was a game-time decision, according to Chris Markwood.
Got to get back to corral the basketball. Whether it's Timberlake, Mitchell, Kramer, Robinson, any of these guys, you got to get back. Be very selective when you go to the offensive glass. If you're Maine.
Largest lead of the half for Bryant at 4. Jaden Clayton scoops it. Perovic back out. 10 to shoot. Carry off the bounce.
Great defensive possession here by Bryant. Keeping the basketball in front. Staying between the ball and the basket. Forcing a contested mid-range shot.
Evans, yes, banks it in.
Just no size there. Burns comes over to rotate, but he's only 6'6".
And a whistle against the Conference Player of the Year, Earl Timberlake, his first foul.
Evans goes to the post and he just drives it mid-post. Burns comes over to help. Allows the split in between, and he just can't allow that when you're coming over two guys on the ball. Evans overpowers him and gets it in the glass. You know there's something special about you when your former coach comes to watch you play. Evans transfer from St. Bonaventure. His former coach, Mark Schmitz, come by to support him. That speaks volumes, telling you how special this young man is.
He has helped Bryant to a 6-0 run. That will be stunted momentarily. A turnover gives it back to Maine. There was one meeting this year between Bryant and Maine in which the Bulldogs had 19 turnovers.
Yes.
RC, it's something that Maine's defense does well. The issue in that game was they didn't capitalize enough.
But they're going to have trouble scoring in the half court. Got to figure out their matchup. Keep multiple actions. Slip some of these screens because Bryant's switching everything. You get this kind of matchup, got to take advantage of it.
Steal was rejected at the rim by Evans. Everybody on Maine's bench wanted a goaltend, but they won't get it. Evans picked. It's Tynes. Scoops. Burns lays it in and stops a 6-0 run.
Got to know where Tynes is at all times. I mean, his hands, quick as his hands are, he's just disruptive. I don't know if you call that a block. He just snatched it out of the air.
Literally grabbed it with two hands.
He just grabbed it out of the air. We've seen some high-level defensive efforts here by both teams.
Withers from downtown. Rebound Mantis. One of the excellent three-point shooters in the league this year. Neither team with a three so far in this game. Oh, and a blow-by is left short by Jaden Clayton.
Maine's doing a great job of staying wide in the corners. They're looking at the weak side. They want to drive, just kick it to the corners and drive closeouts, and they've been able to get to the rim. Just got to finish. Controlling the tempo and pace here. Don't need to take quick shots. You identify that Bryant is switching everything, identify the matchup, who you want to attack, and let that initiate the defense. Watch the dribble drive, kick to the corners again.
Great feed, Mitchell. Rejected by Burns. He thought he got all ball. And instead, a foul, the fourth on Maine. Down 4 with 6:55 to go in the first half. One of these two teams will be a first-time America East champion at the end of our game. So far, top seed Bryant with a 4-point lead. 6:55 to go as we take a look at the SEC men's bracket. The last 5 champions in the SEC tournament still in the field, including Auburn, who won last year and has won 2 of the last 5. Led, of course, by SEC Player of the Year Janai Broome. We'll get a date tonight with Tennessee, averaging a double-double, 6th in the NCAA with 18 double-doubles after 23 and 15 in the quarterfinal against Ole Miss a couple of days ago.
And Cooper Flagg, 2-man race for Player of the Year, and any one of those 4 seeds could easily win the SEC tournament championship. It'd be fun to see that. That's a really competitive league, obviously as good as there is in college basketball. Who you like? Who you like in the SEC?
I mean, with those 4 teams left, in my opinion, it's, close your eyes and pick one.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
What about you?
Florida.
Really?
Yeah. I like
the four, they kind of seem like a dark horse to me. Obviously, they're terrific, and I think Final Four caliber as Burns puts it down. Just the second made bucket in the last 9 trips for Maine.
He's been the one guy that's been able to get to his spot. He also provides positional size at 6'5", so the length of Bryant doesn't bother him.
Well, that was last touch by Maine. Timberlake wanted a foul, won't get it. He's been a bit frustrated in this first half, just 1 for 2 shooting.
A lot of contact there. Lopez got away, slap on the arm, but the officials have been consistent. They're allowed them to play.
We expected physical in this game.
Too much at stake for it not to be physical.
How about that physical take by the program's first conference player of the year since going D1 ahead of the 08-09 season, and Earl Timberlake with his second bucket. Tipped and picked by Withers.
Burns got caught in the air. He was trying to pass it and wasn't sure what to do with it, and it slipped out of his hand.
Mitchell with a size advantage and takes advantage, and Mitchell at a season-high 21 in the win against UAlbany to reach the championship game.
Mitchell runs like a deer, and when he runs like that, he forces the point guard to pick him up.
The length of this Bryant defense becoming an issue. Evans with a two-hand jam. Timeout, Maine.
Can you see a picture yet?
Not yet.
Not yet! What about now?
What's that?
Just streaming the game.
Innovation changes everything.
Go left.
Go left.
Go left. Go left.
Go left! Left!
With one investment, you can access the NASDAQ 100 innovators who are rethinking the world. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Find a pet-friendly Italian restaurant with outdoor seating nearby and text it to Luca.
Find it real quick. Send it to the click. The place is sick.
Back from Smithfield, Rhode Island, where the Bryant Bulldogs have their largest lead of the game thanks to a 6-0 run over the last 53 seconds. And it's a lot of defense to offense, RC, for this team.
Because anyone gets it, they can push it. And they all get out and run, and they're just so athletic and so much size there. And they're switching everything on defense. So when they rebound, you can't match up with any guy. You just have to get a body and just defend it. And sometimes that can be your 6-foot point guard on a 6'11 Mitchell. We're trying to match up on Evans at 6'8". This Bryant team is just so explosive and getting from one end of the floor to the other.
Average height 79 inches, 6th tallest team in Division I. Times feeling that length of Evans, draws a foul, and 2 shots coming from the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in the conference.
Getting in the paint and being patient. Their main shot fake. This is an aggressive team. We talked about it before. One of the best shot blocking teams in college basketball. You got to shot fake, get angles. They leave their feet and draw fouls. It allows you to keep this game close and slow the pace down.
Well, Timberlake comes on. Evans goes to the bench with 2 fouls. Tynes became the first player in Maine history to win Defensive Player of the Year in the America East, and then won it 2 more times after that.
He's put his imprint on this game here defensively early. Now Maine falls back to their zone. Look for Earl Timberlake flashing right there in the middle of that zone.
Pinzon coughs it up. 9 turnovers in the game for Bryant. And Lopez just could not keep the handle, dealing the pressure of Withers into the paint.
You want to take advantage of those opportunities in transition when you get a steal. But at least you get to set your defense right now. They get to extend their pressure. They're just trying to slow you down. Now they're going to fall back in their 3-2 matchup.
Just 6 Maine points off 9 Bryant turnovers. Pinzon off the back iron, and a push underneath will go against Maine. And that is the 5th on the Black Bears and number 2 on Keon Burns.
Well, they had trouble rebounding in the man-to-man. Everyone has trouble rebounding out of the zone. And got to be intentional about putting a body on a body if you're Maine in your 3-2 matchup.
Tynes wins it back for Maine. His 3rd steal.
I would treat him like he's Deion Sanders. I'm just not throwing the ball near him. Every time you throw the ball near him, it's a turnover. It just doesn't go well for you. He may be credited with 2 to 3 steals. He's made 5 or 6 plays already.
8-point deficit for the Black Bears on the wrong end of an 18-8 run. Since about the 8-minute mark of this half. Step back from Lopez. Needed it from their leading scorer.
He has that in his game, and he's going to need to play well. Again, he scored 24 points in this build in the last time both of these teams played.
Timberlake playing bully ball in the paint.
There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. When your point guard bullies your center at the rim, you just tip your hat, come back and try to execute on the offensive end of the floor. There's nothing you can do with Timberlake at that point in the rim.
Good feed inside to Gribben. They won't count the foul, the bucket rather. Foul on the floor will go against Bryant, the 5th on the team. Presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Allstate, reminding you that basketball season is mayhem.
Getting the game back in the half court, attack the switches, get the ball moving a little bit, just as Randolph had said, and then get back into the paint and make kickouts. Get the game back into the half court for Bryant. For Maine.
Yeah, and I agree. Maine, if Maine's not moving the ball and forcing Bryant into rotations, that's when they were at their best, and then able to drive the closeouts. It's going to be a long afternoon for Maine, and Bryant's going to have a chance to get their ticket punched.
Critical last 3.5 minutes. Back to Matt and Randolph. We'll see you at the half.
Yeah, no doubt, Dallin. You know, RC and I were talking before this game. We felt like the last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half would determine Maine's outcome in this game. How do you see it playing out over the final 3.5 of the first half?
As we talked about it's got to be figuring out the matchup you want to attack to get dribble penetration like that. And you got to knock these looks down.
Maine still scoreless from deep. But a fresh 20.
That's a good look. You don't mind that at all.
Tynes bothered by the length of Withers. Here's Timberlake. Bounced it off his shoe. Scooped up by Gribben. 11th turnover. And it leads to a short bucket. Lopez just missing out on a 3-point play opportunity. Boy, Maine has had a handful of those looks at the rim that just haven't fallen in the first half.
They had their opportunities here. Seaton rushed a little bit. The length of Bryant is bothering him at the rim. Trying to shoot it quick, ended up missing a layup. Fortunately for them, they draw the foul. And Bryant's been a little careless with the basketball. If they just settle down, a few of their turnovers have just been careless, dribbling off their foot. They can just settle down. I think they can get any shot they want.
Are you surprised that we've only seen Maine, again, the best 3-point shooting team in the America East, take 2 3-point shots in the first half?
But that's what the switching is doing. Yeah. Switching allows you to stay home. They're trying to stay out of rotation. They're switching 1 through 5, so it's forcing Maine to beat you off the bounce. So Maine is intentional about driving and spraying it in the corner, but they're not rotating right now. They got to beat their guy out the dribble, force dribble penetration. More importantly, they got to start finishing some of those drives.
Withers lob. Evans with the jam.
Great play against the zone. A lot of movement. Almost they ran a man-to-man lob play against the zone. It's not a good shot. It's a settle shot. You got to execute your offense and take time off. If not, you're going to spend too much time on this end of the floor.
Good hop step by Pinzone. He's had a nice start to this game in his return from food poisoning. And it's back to a 10-point Bryant lead.
Identify who you want to attack. And that's the play. That's been the game plan. Middle drive, kick weak side.
Mantis makes the first three of the game for either team with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half.
He may be the best shooter in the gym. You've got to know where he is, shooting over 43% from three-point line. And again, when you're switching everything, there's no need to. Wow, great. That's the shot with mistake, so don't be surprised. He'll shoot it from the logo. He and Pinzone, no hesitation in their game.
Lopez slashing, and it's swatted by Withers. Less than a minute to go in the opening half. 34-27 Bryant. Pinzone, fadeaway J. Yes! When he gets going, watch out. You alluded to his 28-point game. The last time these teams played, it was a game high.
He's a scorer. He can shoot it, but he can just score it however you want. Off the bounce. He just needs space.
Tynes tries to feed it. Kramer saves. Now hang on a second. Did he touch the bottom of the backboard? And thus make himself ineligible to catch that ball and put it back in. Is that what the officials are saying?
I think they're saying it touched the wires. It touched
which would be part of the out of bounds.
Yes, that's what he's calling it here.
So look at this here. Kramer goes up. Wow, it looked like his head caught the wire.
The ball hit the wire. And
lucky break for Maine.
Absolutely.
Tynes.
Nothing easy.
Shot clock turned off for Bryant at the end of the first half.
They're going to stay in their 3-2 zone.
Timberlake fading. Come on! From the Conference Player of the Year.
Bryant is switching five. They're switching everything. You've got to get back, set your defense, and make this a half-court game. They've got to find a way to win these first 4 minutes. Get in the paint, play off 2 feet, and continue to pass the ball in the corners and take your open threes when they present themselves.
Pinzone off the mark. Timberlake fighting for it. Secured by Evans. This team had 7 offensive rebounds in the first half and scored 26 of their 38 points in the paint. Mitchell hacked on the third opportunity, and that is where this team and all their length, RC, wear you down.
They just dominate the paint. I mean, 26 of their 38 points have come in the paint, and we're about to add 2 more, or a point here. Mitchell can knock down the free throws, but they can't rebound. Plus 14 on the glass in the first half. They start out this first possession with 2 offensive rebounds, and they're just wearing you down. Their size and their athleticism, their length.
For long stretches of the conference season, this Bryant team seemed almost unbeatable. Come into this championship game having won 16 of the last 18 games. Though Maine did, in their last meeting on March 1st, compete. Picked off by Timberlake. Watch out. It was bumped, and I'm surprised there wasn't a foul call there. Grimacing as he goes back. He's in double figures with 10.
It's a great job there by Earl Timberlake, glad he's okay. He slipped there going in for that layup.
Tynes was 0 for 4 in the first half. You got to think he has to be a piece if Maine's going to get back into it. Burns, no. Rebound tapped out, and Withers away with it. Mitchell a three.
It's just a difficult sign for Maine. If Mitchell's knocking down threes at 6'11".
Clayton into the body of Pinzone. And Clayton is on the board for the first time this afternoon.
Clayton has the ability to get in the paint. Again, you got to play off 2 feet, finish exactly like that. It's going to be one-on-one. Bryant's going to switch, and they're going to guard their yard.
Oh, great feed. Mitchell trying to posterize Steele, and it's back the other way.
Great contest there by Steele.
Maine shot less than 40% from the floor in the first half. The half-court offense did not come easy, and a foul will go against the Black Bears. And it is the first on Jaden Clayton.
Bryant right now offensively, they're doing what I think Maine should be doing the offensive end. They're coming up, they're slipping screens, and they're giving their guards an alleyway to drive it to the basket.
Now, Phil Martelli Jr., the league's coach of the year, after leading Bryant to its first ever America East regular season title in its 3rd season in the conference, has his team 1 win away from an NCAA tournament bid and 1 win away from a Division I program record, 23 wins in a single season. And there's a bump on Pinzone, number 2 on the senior from Puerto Rico.
It's a lot of time left in this game, Matt, but Maine offensively has got to find a rhythm and find something to get going. I mean, where do they go? The matchup, the switching, the length, the size is just bothering them. And with the switching, you're going to have to slip, take advantage of it. Steele posting up inside, or these guards have got to try to take care of the basketball and beat their defender one-on-one.
Watch out. Love, and the hammer by Evans. Another near miss around the rim for Maine, but a foul on Mitchell will send Steele to the line. Evans is a high flyer.
Look at where he comes from when he catches this. When he threw it, I thought Burns had a shot at it. Evans had other ideas. He will find that on SportsCenter tonight, young man.
Say the same for his block, where he used 2 hands to snatch a ball literally out of the air in the first half.
Just grabbed it. Didn't block it. He just grabbed it out of the air. A la Charles Barkley, like.
He has been a revelation this year for Bryant. Never averaged more than 3 points per game in his 2 seasons at St. Bonaventure. Part of the pitch to him coming to Bryant was, we're going to let you shoot the basketball. They've let him do just about everything this season. Takes a pass from Timberlake. Blocking foul on Lopez. Already 3 fouls on Maine in the opening 4 minutes of the second half.
One thing Maine will look back upon this game is they're trying to trap baseline, but they're allowing the split to happen, and you just can't do that when you commit 2 defenders to the basketball. You've got to stay between the ball and the basket. Too many times that's happened. It's either been a foul or they've gotten a shot up on the glass.
Timberlake bumped off the ball by Gribben. Less than 10 to shoot. Pinzone creating space. Oh, what a rebound snatched by Withers. Reloads. And a whistle underneath will go against Maine. And that is number 3 on the junior from Ireland, Killian Gribben.
This is where the game is being decided. You got to go up. You got to find a way to come up with loose balls and rebound and finish possessions. Maine has struggled to do so, and if they can't figure this out in the next 16 minutes and 15 seconds, Bryant will punch their ticket and get the dancing shoes ready.
Lopez runs into a wall and a blocking foul on Mitchell. That's number 2 on the 6'11" sophomore from Brooklyn, New York.
And he's so critical to Bryant at his size because he's a 6'11" big, but he's able to switch on smaller defenders and keep them in front, and also provide some rim protection as well.
Kellen Tynes, the 3rd leading scorer for Maine, still without a made field goal. Here he is with the basketball. And a turnaround, Jay Short. They have had to grind out half-court possessions against the lengthy defense of the Bryant Bulldogs. Burns pushing the pace. Lopez a 3.
It's a quick shot for Lopez, but he's explosive offensively, and you've got to try to find a way to get him going. You want to chip away at this 18-point lead. Maybe a little quicker a shot than you wanted.
Mitchell off the bounce. Lopez knifing, stripped by Withers. And that will take us to our first media timeout of the second half. An 18-point lead for the top seed, Bryant Bulldogs. Maine with a big hill to climb, down 18, 15 minutes to go in the second half, led by 3rd-year head coach Chris Markwood, and a special day for him, leading his alma mater in the America East Championship game for the first time since '04 when he played for the Black Bears. This is the 3rd different time he's been with the program, first as a player, then as an assistant coach from 2006 to 2011. Now in his 3rd season as the head man, and has already led them to a 5-win improvement from last year in their first 20-win season since 2004. But some things have to change in a hurry if they're going to make their first ever NCAA tournament with a win today.
It does. They have a difficult task ahead, but I can tell you this. It matters more when it's your alma mater. It just does.
Well, certainly he's got this program trending in the right direction regardless of the outcome today. We alluded to it in the first half, but prior to him taking the job, they won 8 games combined in the 2 seasons before he took over. And he's improved each and every year. Gribben with the block. Timberlake just saying, you can't stop me. Picked. And Withers pulls it out. This is a team that can create some real problems in their first round matchup in the NCAA tournament, assuming Bryant gets there, as Withers gives the Bulldogs their largest lead at 20. Counted in the foul for Jaden Clayton.
You know you have a daunting task when the opposing team's point guard challenges your big at the rim and just bullies them, as Timberlake did Gribben in that possession, and then they steal the inbound pass, get another basket. And this is just a fortunate opportunity to hear. You've got to get in the paint. We talked about it with Clayton. Play off 2 feet, stay balanced. Was able to get the and one there. Can they get stops? They tried to go to the matchup zone earlier and wasn't very effective.
In zone, lost it. There was a change of possession there. Holy smokes. Ball's getting zipped around the gym here on this end.
Nobody wants it right now. The excitement's there. Both teams are sped up. And that's been the only issue that Bryant's had, is that their carelessness with the basketball. Every time they touch it, they're trying to make a play. So their turnovers are unforced. They just settle down Bryant and execute their offense. They would pretty much have a flawless effort here.
Times no. Back out Mantis.
Mantis should have no hesitation. He should have let that go.
And a foul on Withers. That is number 5 on Bryant with still 13 minutes to go. So if you're Maine, you're looking at that thinking, okay, that could be an advantage for us as we try to climb back into this game.
Continue to drive the basketball. Withers doesn't like the call. The officials have allowed these guys to play. It's been a physical game. But I think that favors Bryant with their size and length.
All 5 Bryant starters now with 2 fouls as Withers heads to the bench. And Makai Robinson, the Miami transfer, checks back in. Fadeaway J, and the first field goal of the game for Kellen Tynes.
And that was really good defense, just a better shot by Kellen Tynes, just shooting over the arm of Makai Robinson. Man, you got to try to stay between ball and basket. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Conference Player of the Year with a look to the home crowd after that 360. 14 to lead all scores.
Timberlake wants to feel your body. Drives it hard and spins.
Jaden Clayton bounced it off the foot of Robinson. So it'll stay here with 12 to shoot. Bryant with a commanding lead. Dominating in the paint as they have all playoffs.
Don't look at the score for your Maine. Continue to drive the basketball. Don't settle. Continue to put pressure on his defense. There's enough time in this game right now. You can get yourself in a bonus to stop the clock while you're scoring.
Timberlake defended by the center, Gribben. Long with the shot. Here comes Tynes.
That's what length does. You're just scared of the shot blocking ability of Bryant.
That is number 3 on pin zone and the 6th on Bryant. One more puts Maine into the bonus. And the Black Bears need more of Kellen Tynes over the final 12 minutes.
Great job there on his baseline fadeaway jump shot, just getting himself going. And Earl Timberlake in the spin cycle going. Bryant trying to run away, punch their ticket to the NCAA.
You think this place is ready to erupt? Bryant 11.5 minutes away from the program's second ever trip to the NCAA tournament. And again tonight, RC, they have dominated on the glass.
We knew it'd be a problem for Maine inside, and just no answers with the positional size that they have. Everyone's coming in crashing. The guards have been a big part of the offensive rebounds, and just can't keep this guy, Earl Timberlake, out of the paint. Just physically overpowering any guard or anybody that Maine puts on him. I mean, he scored a couple of times point blank range at the rim against their centers. I mean, what do you say?
They are plus 18 on the glass and one of the top rebounding teams in Division I. And we've talked about it. Their length matches up with any Power 4 team they may potentially see in the NCAA tournament, assuming they can hang on here over the final 11 minutes plus.
Matt, their starting point guard is 6'6", 220 pounds. Pinzone is 6'6". Withers is 6'8", 6'8", and 6'11". That's their starting lineup. At this level, that's a lot to match up with. It's difficult to match up at any level.
Not to mention multiple power forward guys transferring down to Bryant, including Pinzone, who scoops it off the window in his second year over from St. John's.
Maine, you need obviously to take care of the basketball. That's just a careless turnover there. But they're running out of options. The length is just bothering them, and Mitchell got the steal, so he said, why not? Let me try a three here.
Lopez hacked, counted in the foul, and that is number 7 on Bryant.
Got to continue to get to the rim, play off 2. Great job here, giving a shot fake. Again, Bryant averages 6 block shots a game, 7 in conference play, so you know they're trying to block shots. Get him in the air, get the body contact. Nothing else, get to the foul line and stop the clock.
That is number 3 on Mitchell. He remains in the game, as does Pinzone with 3. Lopez, the second best free throw shooter in the America East, is perfect today, now has 13. Cuts the deficit to 16.
And this is what we talked about. I told you. They have Steele lined up guarding Timberlake. And they're just so small to the other positions because they got to put their center on Earl Timberlake to try to be physical enough to keep him out of the paint.
Tynes running the point with Jaden Clayton on the bench. Lopez out to Burns. Creating space off the side of the rim. Rebound Mitchell.
And look at the matchup.
Evans at 3.
Now, if they're going to make threes, there's just nothing Maine can do at that point. They're giving up so much size inside. They're already dumping in the post. You got to take the threes away from Withers and Pinzone, but when the other guys are knocking them down, it's just a tough out.
Evans, Euro with the left hand. Timeout, Maine. Bryant with a big lead thanks to the conference's player of the year, Earl Timberlake, and the newcomer of the year, Barry Evans. Earl Timberlake's been doing it all, but again tonight, scoring at an extremely high clip.
I mean, he opens up the game, reminding you that he's an all-conference defensive player as well, and he just dominates the game by controlling the paint. I mean, he's just wearing you down physically. Anytime a team has to put their opposing center on him to match up, you got a problem. And what it's done is just allowed everyone else to crash the glass, and they're just dominating Maine on the backboards right now.
He's such an impressive finisher. Yes. He has now shot 50% or better in 6 straight games. 7 for 11 today with 14 points. Mantis inside the steal, and there's Timberlake defending the 5-man for Maine.
Well, they're switching everything, so whatever action Maine runs, they're just switching on contact, and they're going to force you to score over a body.
Third-year Memphis transfer, Timberlake defending Mantis. Won't go. Timberlake, another one of those guys that began his career at the Power 4 level and was a former 5-star recruit coming out of high school.
Yes, I've seen him plenty of times in high school at DeMatha High School. He and Hunter Dickinson were teammates in a loaded class.
That has been the story of the day for Maine around the rim offensively. Near misses. Now at least a handful of those just in and out. 8 minutes to play and a 21-point lead for the top seed, and the 4th foul on Mitchell will give it back to the Black Bears.
Yeah, Mitchell can't displace the defender. He's entitled to that ground. The official let the first bump go. At that point, Mitchell's got to make a move.
He will head to the bench with his 7th double-double of the season, 10 points, 10 boards. And Kayvon Kramer, not a bad substitute.
Absolutely not. A guy that was in a running. We know McNeely for UAlbany won 6th Man of the Year, but it was between Kayvon Kramer and McNeely for that 6th Man award.
The Conference Player of the Year, Earl Timberlake, can smell it. His team 744 away from punching its ticket to the big dance. Later on tonight, right here on ESPN2, Memphis and Tulane in the semifinal of the American Men's Tournament. Then North Texas UAB in a rematch of a regular season series that split. Both games decided by 3 points. But the headliner, of course, P.J. Haggerty, the Conference Player of the Year, coming off a tournament best 42 points in the win against Wichita State in the quarterfinal.
And you and I have seen Memphis play and are not surprised at all at the efficiency in which P.J. Haggerty scores the basketball, and a very talented Memphis team that we know can make a run in the NCAA tournament. But a lot of people are watching that league because if Memphis doesn't win it, someone's stealing a bid. And if you're a bubble team, a la Xavier, Carolina, Boise State, any of these teams, Texas, you're monitoring the American closely.
Well, that's what happened last year. UAB won the championship game. They and FAU made it in, and the American was one of those leagues that stole a bid.
Right.
Certainly capable of that this year with Memphis in the tournament field, regardless of what happens tonight in the semifinal or in the championship game tomorrow.
Same thing with the Atlantic 10 as well. VCU's in. Whoever wins the A10 is being in the NCAA tournament. I thought Withers was passing me the ball. I thought he was trying to get me a shot. Everyone else is scoring. I thought he was trying to give me one.
My man doesn't have any eligibility left. He was playing in the 90s, all right?
All right. Easy. Easy on the old guy.
Matt Schumacher, the ACC tournament MVP in 1995. Randolph Childress with you. What do you think about the ACC championship game? Duke, Louisville, of course, Duke's shortened bench, a big story.
Just a great effort for Duke. I mean, to show their composure, to come back missing Malik Brown and Cooper Flagg. And can't say enough about Louisville and the job that Pat Kelsey's done with that program. This is what this team has been so great at. And we talked about it. They average 7 blocks a game in conference play. And I tend to agree with Earl Timberlake there. I thought he went up and high-pointed that ball and volleyball spiked it out of bounds. I didn't think there was a lot of contact there.
His 3rd foul. Well, he's done it all.
He has.
Today, 14 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, and a partridge in a pear tree.
It's why he's the only Division I athlete that has these numbers. I mean, he's 15, 4 assists, 8 rebounds, and just under 2 blocks a game. I mean, this is a point guard we're talking about here.
First player in league history to average those numbers in a single season. Pin zone, no. Tapped around and secured by Tynes. Kick out. Passing up 3-point shots. Tynes. Fadeaway jumper, good.
Just more comfortable driving it in, but those are the threes you take. Open threes in transition, especially when you're down. We're in the guts of the game for Maine. If you're going to get back in it, you got to do so now. Got to get stops. More importantly, you've got to find a way to corral the basketball and finish possessions with rebounds.
Withers, turnaround jumper. No, Kramer over the back. His first, but the 10th on Bryant. Maine in the double bonus.
And this is what they have to do. If you box out, they are coming. If you get in front of them, they'll run you over.
They don't know any other way.
No, that's the way their program. And Steele gets to now, you get to score with the clock being stopped. It's why it's so important that you try to rebound the basketball right now, and the guards have got to stick their nose in there and help out these frontline guys.
Steele, just a 55% foul shooter, makes the first selection. Sunday is tomorrow, starts at 6 Eastern on SportsCenter, with SportsCenter on ESPN. Reese and the guys look at the men's field, followed by bracketology. Then at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed, with bracketology following at 9 Eastern on ESPN2. One of these two teams will be on that bracket revealed tomorrow. Maine has never been. Bryant has been just once. That was after they won the NEC tournament in 2022. Stolen by Tynes. And that ball ended up into the 5th row of the seats. Tynes apologizing to fans. Not just a dog on the court, but a nice guy, too. Wins it back for Maine, and a timeout by Bryant. We will take it with him. Back in 30 seconds. Maine making a little push here late. Well, Maine will get the basketball side out of bounds thanks to the effort of Kellen Tynes. And look, Randolph, it hasn't been his best day offensively, just 3 for 11, but he competes, and he competes as hard as anybody in the gym.
He has on the defensive end of the floor, and he single-handedly stopped 3 or 4 baskets by Bryant that Maine had been able to turn around and push it on a break and score. They just haven't found any consistency on the offensive end of the floor.
Second player in America East history to win League Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. The other, Marcus Blakely from Vermont, a little over a decade ago. 61-48, 5.5 minutes to play for a championship. Neither team has won it in this league.
One of these teams right now is just feeling it. And this guy with the basketball is playing with so much confidence. He feels as though he is the best player on the floor.
And he is.
Yes, he is.
16 for Timberlake. He's headed back to the line.
They knew it was going to be a difficult task trying to stop Earl Timberlake to start, and he is not disappointed. Just continues to attack the rim, point blank layup. Nothing you can do but foul him.
Griffin wide open, turns and throws it down.
That's what screening does, and we talked did it a few times earlier. You continue to screen. It's so loud inside that you can't hear your teammate.
Can't leave Evans open.
No. Take advantage of a mistake and lack of communication, and you give it right back.
19 for the conference's newcomer of the year, and Griffin dribbled it out of bounds. Back to Bryant. And he gets this with a clear look at the basket, steps back and drills a 3.
Yeah, they're trying to establish their full court zone press. The length of Bryant, they just throw it over the top, and Evans, no hesitation. They're going to concede that 3 to him. You're more worried about him attacking the paint, but when they're knocking down 3s from those other guys outside of Withers and Pinzone, and they're just different. Just too much foul power.
One timeout left for Bryant. But you look at this Bryant team, too. You've got the coach of the year, the player of the year, the newcomer of the year, and the 3rd leading scorer of the year in Pinzone, who is a first-team all-conference player. They cleaned up the awards. They have the size. They have the Power 4 pedigree. This feels like a giant killer type of team come March Madness. What do you think?
And they could, because they're a team that won't be overwhelmed with size and length and athleticism. They have guys that have played at the high major levels that have something to prove. And credit to Phil Martelli Jr. and his staff. I mean, in particular, Chris Cole is a guy from the Washington, D.C. area. Knows Earl Timberlake, part of the reasons he's here. Evans from Baltimore area. Ja'Kai Robinson as well. I mean, it's a big part of that staff being here. His dad sits there and he watches, and he told us the other day, Junior did, that dad, 80% of what he does comes from his dad, and his dad is one of the best people that's ever coached this game. Former coach of the year. Also an ESPN colleague. I thought he was going to get a ride with us to the airport, but he said he's sticking around. I think he's going to celebrate with son after this one.
Evans stripped. Here comes Jaden Clayton. Lopez draws a foul on Withers. That's number 3. Well, Phil Martelli Sr. is at a home Bryant game for just the second time in his son's tenure as the head coach. The first was Tuesday night when we were here for the semifinal.
Which is shocking. You think he would have made many more, and he said, no, this is my first time. And he said if they win, he's on the NIT committee. He's like, don't look for me. If my son makes it to the championship, I'll be with my son.
He's been to a few road games, but never been to the Chase Athletic Center prior to this week. I guess you got to make it to the semifinal of the conference championship to get Dad to come out.
You got to earn it. Listen, he's old school, right? You got to earn it. I'm not telling his son you hadn't done anything until you got into the conference championship game. He's got to be proud and see his group if they can hold off here in the last 4 minutes of this game.
Well, his son's team less than 4 minutes away from making the program's second ever trip to the NCAA tournament. Pinzone, a deep 3. Bang!
Pinzone can be explosive in shooting and scoring the basketball.
And Steele on the lob. Puts it back to 16. Desperation now for the Black Bears. Trying to trap Timberlake. Did he call a timeout? Yes, and that is the final for Bryant. We'll take it with him. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. One final break from the Ocean State. We'll be back after this. 3:16 left from the Chase Athletic Center to punch a ticket at the America East. And coming up tonight at 6 Eastern, Champ Week continues on ESPN with a Phillips 66 Big 12 championship game between Houston and Arizona. Then at 8:30, it's Duke and Louisville for the ACC title. More tickets to be punched all afternoon on our ESPN family of networks. Bryant in front of a sold-out crowd, looking for just their second trip ever to the NCAA tournament. And Maine has never been playing in their first championship appearance since 2004. Timberlake, spin cycle, left hand, no. Steele, the rebound. Here comes Tynes. Lopez. Mantis a 3. Steele wins it back for Maine. Bodies on the deck. And the arrow is with the Black Bears. It'll stay here with 13 to shoot.
Maine has been able to get to their spots off the bounce, but again, they just seem overwhelmed with the length and athleticism of Bryant's team. I mean, it doesn't matter the position. They have positional size, and the smaller guards have been able to get to their spots, but just unable to finish. Been a little hesitant on the perimeter. Just seemed to be a tick off, a little sped up in their ability to process and decide decision making.
One thing head coach Chris Markwood, an alum of Maine basketball cannot be disappointed with is the effort.
Absolutely not.
Of his team. They have flown around all day, even when the ball hasn't dropped.
And sometimes you wonder when you spend so much energy. They beat the 3-time defending champion Vermont Catamounts, and you know, mentally coming into that game, everyone just expected Vermont to be here.
Yes.
And you wonder how much energy did they expel mentally just getting over that hurdle. There's nothing to hang your hat about. This Bryant team has been the best team in the conference. It's why they're the #1 team. And they are the most talented team in this league.
Kramer with the exclamation point.
We showed you this early in the breakdown. When they drive, they cut from that weak side and in the center, and Kramer goes up, up, and away. Burns, don't do it.
Well, he's a young man who, over the last 2 years, has dealt with everything. Torn ACL, his second of his playing career. The other came in high school, missed the entire 2023-24 season. After he missed 10 games the year prior due to a rare illness that required hospitalization in the ICU. They're just thrilled to have him alive.
Yes.
RC, let alone playing basketball at a championship level.
Phil Martelli Jr. told us it was the scariest day of his life. And no coach wants to call home and tell a parent that their child is in ICU and they're unsure if he's going to make it. I mean, you don't want to make that phone call to any parent as a coach. And he told us, he said, I've never been more scared of anything in my life.
An inspiration for this program that is playing inspired basketball. Withers, come on!
Withers and Pinzone are the scariest shooters on this team with all this size. If they get going from behind the three-point line, look out.
Timeout, Maine. And they can taste it for just the second time in program history. So many of these guys who stuck around after Phil Martelli Jr. became the new head coach. Remember, there are multiple young men on this team that had the opportunity to leave with the changing of the guard at the top, elected to stay. Phil Martelli Jr. and his staff added a few more pieces, and it's led to a historic year for the Bryant Bulldogs.
And not often can you put together this type of talent. Hello.
They will enter the NCAA tournament with a Division I program record, 23 wins.
And not often you can accumulate talent. And that's what Phil Martelli Jr. and his staff has done. But to be able to complete the mission is a totally different aspect. And credit to the Bryant Bulldogs and their staff and this team for what they've been able to do. This is a one-bid league. You spend all year, doesn't matter what they do in November, December, or January. Everything they do boils down to their conference tournament. The Bryant Bulldogs will be your 2025 America East regular season and conference playoff champion.
And for Maine, a historic season, reaching their first championship game since 2004, their first 20-win season since that 04 team led by Chris Markwood, who was a player back then for the Maine Black Bears, and a 5-win improvement from last year. A great foundation has been laid by Chris Markwood in his 3rd season, but they ran into a buzzsaw today, as so many in this league have all year. Bryant will win another league game by double digits, and watch out. When the bracket gets revealed tomorrow, whoever Bryant's opponent will be, they've got a tall task ahead taking on this team.
Well, they'll have their attention. When their coach sees the players and the length and the size of this team, they will remind their guys of what's in front of them, that they have guys that have played at that level. How about these students for showing up, turning out today as well? They're on spring break here. There's not an empty seat in this building.
Bryant will pull it out. And for the 2nd time in program history, they are going to the Big Ten.